everyone, very pleasant morning to you all. Welcome to our MAM Academy. Last class we have discussed about uncertainty in measurement. In this video we will be discussing about laws of chemical combination and Dalton atomic theory. Our first topic is laws of chemical combination. The combination of element to form compound is governed by the following 5 basic laws. There are conservation of mass, definite proportion, multiple proportion, Gay-Lussac law of gaseous volume and Avogadro's law. Let me discuss about laws of conservation of mass. This law was put forth by Anton Lavoisier in 1789. This law talks about two changes, that is physical changes and chemical changes. Let me discuss about physical changes. Physical changes, its composition remains the same despite its molecule being arranged. Physical changes is a temporary change. Example of physical changes: freezing of water, melting of wax and boiling of water, etc. Let me do some practical method in physical changes. Let us have some ice cubes in a dish and weight. Let's say total weight of ice cube is 100 grams. Next, if we heat the ice, it will melt and form water. If we weigh the water and we noticed that weight is the same as the weight of ice cube. So, weight of water is equal to weight of ice cube is equal to 100 grams only. So, this proves when the matter undergoes the physical change, like in this case. The total mass of the reactant is equal to the total mass of the product. Let us verify the part of chemical changes. When a substance undergoes a chemical change, its molecular composition is changed entirely. This chemical involves the formation of new substance. It is called chemical changes and it is a permanent change. Example of chemical change: digestion of food and burning of coal, and last one is rusting, and etc. etc. There are the many example of chemical changes. For example, one more example is burning of paper. Another example of chemical changes: we will do one reaction with the use of Landlot's tubes. Before the reaction, we take AgNO3 and NaCl in the two limbs of Landlot tube. Now the both limbs close with the rubber coke. Let us weight the tube and note the weight. This is the what reactant before the chemical reaction. Now we shake the tube to mix the solutions thoroughly. After that, what will happen? Which means after the reactions, what will happen? The reactions takes place and notice that the white precipitate of silver chloride is formed in the tube along with the sodium nitrate. So, when the matter undergoes chemical reactions, the total mass of the reactant is equal to the total mass of the product. That is, during any chemical reactions, matter is neither the gain nor lost. So, this law is also called the law of indestructibility of matter. Next law is definite proportion or constant proportion. In 1799, Joseph Proust proposed the law of definite proportion. As the name suggests, this law composition of various elements present in a compound. For example, carbon monoxide, which means CO, and carbon dioxide, which means CO2. This law deals with that pure chemical compound always contains the same elements coming together in the same fixed ratio by mass. For example, 2H2 combined with oxygen, it reacts with 2H2O. It is always contains hydrogen and oxygen element in the ratio of 1:8 by the mass. Thus we can say that a given compound always contain exactly the same element in the same fixed proportion by the mass. However, this laws does not apply if any element exists in different isotopes which may form a compound. For example, carbon 12 plus oxygen, it gives carbon dioxide So here, if a carbon 12 isotopes combine with the oxygen to form carbon dioxide, so the ratio of carbon dioxide is 3:8. But if isotope carbon 14 isotope combine with oxygen to form carbon dioxide, the ratio of carbon is 14 and oxygen is 32. So the carbon dioxide ratio is 7:4, 7:16. Elements may combine in the same ratio, but the compound formed may be different. So the elements may combine in the same ratio, but the compounds formed may be different. For example, ethanol, C2H5OH, and dimethyl ether, CH3OCH3. Here the compounds of ethanol and dimethyl ether have the same number of carbon and hydrogen and oxygen atom, but the range is different. That is the compounds are different. For example, it gives a C2H6O. The components of C2H5OH compounds, the ratio of this element 24:6:16, and CH3OCH3, which means dimethyl ether, 12:3:8. So Browns worked with two sample of cupric carbonate, one of which was the natural origin and the other was synthetic. He found that the composition of elements present in it was same for both the samples as shown in the below table. Example of two samples, that is cupric carbonate here is the percentage of natural sample and synthetic sample. Percentage of copper is in natural sample 51.35%, same synthetic sample also 51.35, and the percentage of carbon in natural sample is 9.74, and also synthetic sample also 9.74. Percentage of oxygen in natural sample and synthetic sample is 38.91. Thus he concluded that irrespective of the resource, a given compound always contains same elements combined together in the same proportion by the mass. So the validity of this law has been confirmed by various experiments. Our third law is multiple proportion. In 1804, Dalton proposed the law of multiple proportion. According to this law, when two elements can combine to form more than one compound, the masses of one element that combines with the fixed masses of other element or in the ratio of small whole numbers. For example, carbon plus oxygen. So here, when the element carbon and oxygen combine two compounds, namely carbon dioxide which means carbon plus oxygen gives CO2. This is one reaction. Another reaction is carbon monoxide to carbon plus oxygen, it reacts with carbon monoxide, which means CO. So here the carbon dioxide, it is 24 parts by the mass of carbon combined with the 32 parts of by the mass of oxygen, and here also 12 parts by the mass of carbon combined with the 16 parts of mass of oxygen. So these masses of oxygen, whereas the simple ratio, that is simple ratio of 32 is 16 or 2:1. Again I am saying carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, the two combined compounds. So here carbon monoxide, carbon plus oxygen react with carbon dioxide, and 2 carbon plus oxygen react with carbon monoxide. 20 parts by the mass of carbon combined with the 32 parts by the mass of oxygen, and here 12 parts by the mass of carbon combined with the 16 part by mass of oxygen. So these masses of oxygen were a simple ratio, that is 32:16 or 2:16, 2:1. In these reactions, a fixed amount of carbon is combining with a multiple proportion of oxygen to form carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. Similarly, another example of this multiple proportion, sulfur and oxygen. Here sulfur and oxygen, it combined with the two compound, that is sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. First one is sulfur dioxide, second compound is sulfur trioxide. So here sulfur combined with oxygen, it reacts with sulfur dioxide. 2 sulfur combined with oxygen, it react with sulfur trioxide. So when the sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide are formed the mass of oxygen where the simple ratio, that is 32:48 or 2:3. How it come? Sulfur oxygen, it gives sulfur dioxide, and 2 sulfur dioxide combined with oxygen, it give sulfur trioxide. So here in this reaction, (32 parts of sulfur dioxide sulfur combined with oxygen, 32 here also, and oxygen combined with 48. So here we get here 48 ma'am. The simple ratio is 32:48 or 2:3. So the simple reaction of sulfur and oxygen is, in this reaction a fixed amount of sulfur combining with the multiple proportion of oxygen to form a sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. So the next law is law of combining volumes. The another name of Gay-Lussac law of combining volumes is combining volumes. In 1808, Gay-Lussac observed that when gases combine or produced in a chemical reaction, they do in a simple ratio by volume, provided all gases are at the same temperature and pressure. For example, hydrogen plus chlorine, it gives hydrogen chlorine. When one volume of hydrogens react with the one volume of chlorine, then the result is 2 volume of hydrogen chlorine, which means the ratio of this reaction is 1:2. So when one volume of hydrogen react with one volume of chlorine, it gives the 2 volume of hydrogen chlorine. So the simple ratio is 1:1:2. Similarly, hydrogen plus oxygen react with water. So here we take 100 ml of hydrogen combined with 50 ml of water. So we get 100 ml of water. So this is the volume of hydrogen and oxygen which combine 100 ml and 50 ml. Whereas simple ratio is 2:1. The simple ratio is 2:1. So again, Gay-Lussac discovery of integral ratio in volume relationship is actually the law of definite proportion by volume. The law of definite proportion stated earlier was the respect to mass. The Gay-Lussac law was explained properly by the work of Avogadro in 1811. The law is Avogadro laws. In 1811, Avogadro suggested that the matter consists of two kinds of particles, that is the atoms and molecules, namely. So he defined an atoms as the smallest particles of an element which contains part in a chemical reaction. So atom may or may not exist independently, but the molecule is the smallest part of an element or compound, so which is capable of independent exist. So he conclude, Avogadro conclude that since the smallest particle of gas which can exist dependently is molecule, not an atom. So hence the volume of gases must be related to the number of molecules. So he proposed the law known as the Avogadro's laws, and which is state that under similar conditions same number of molecules in equal volumes at the same temperature and pressure. For example, one volume of hydrogen combined with one volume of chlorine, it react with the hydrogen chlorine gas. So here one volume of hydrogen is N molecule combined with one volume of chlorine N molecule. So it gives the 2 N molecule. So for this to be true, it would mean that the number of molecules in one volume of hydrogens will be equal to the number of molecules in one volume of chlorine. During the reaction, they will form the 2 volume of hydrogen chlorine gas, which will contain N class N, that is 2N. N class N, that is 2N number of molecules, which means that the number of molecule is one volume of HCl is equal to N molecule. So thus it is providing Avogadro's laws. While scientists study the matter and form the law of chemical combination, people unable to understand some questions. The first question is, why are two elements different? And the second question is, why do elements combine to form compound? For this question, Dalton studied the structure of matter, and in 1808 he proposed the theory to describe the structure of matter. The theory is named after Dalton atomic theory. Yes, you are right. Our last topic is Dalton atomic theory. In 1808, Dalton published a new system of chemical philosophy in which he proposed the following. The first one is matter consists of indivisible atoms. The second one is all the atoms of the given elements have identical properties including identical mass. Atoms of different elements differ in mass. Third point is compounds are formed when atoms of different elements combine in a fixed ratio, which means a fixed ratio. So the chemical reactions involve reorganization of atom. These are neither created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. So the Dalton atomic theory could explain the laws of chemical combinations. However, it could not explain the law of gaseous volumes. It could not provide the reason for combining of atoms, which was answered later by the other scientists. Thank you so much. I hope you all are understand very well these two concepts of laws of chemical combinations and Dalton atomics. Thank you.